The Fan. Sports Center.
Good evening. I'm Buddy Wells. Baseball tonight. The Reds are at home as they host the Rangers for the first of a three-game set. First pitch is at 6:40. You can listen to that game right here on The Fan, starting at 8 after Buckeye Roundtable. As for the Guardians, they're out on the West Coast as they play the first of three in San Diego against the Padres. That game will get started at 9:40 tonight. A pair of Elite 8 games in the women's NCAA tournament tonight at 7 o'clock. Texas meets TCU. Then at about 9 or so, it's UConn against Southern California. South Carolina and UCLA clinched their spots in the Final Four yesterday. On the men's side of things, the Final Four will get underway in San Antonio on Saturday night this coming weekend. It's the 4-1 seeds meeting with a trip to the national championship game on the line. First up, it's Auburn against Florida. Then in the nightcap, Duke will play Houston. And in hockey, the Blue Jackets will play the first of two at home tomorrow night when they host the Nashville Predators. Face-off at Nationwide Arena is at 7 o'clock. Breaking sports news when it happens right here on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
From Learfield, this is the Buckeye Roundtable Show presented by Burger King and brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast and Cova Insurance, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now here's your host, Tim Hall.
Welcome to another edition of Buckeye Roundtable. Wherever you're listening here in Ohio or beyond, we certainly do appreciate it. We got a lot to get to, really. I'm telling you, we have a parade of Buckeye guests tonight. We're going to hit on all sorts of topics. Basically, any topic you're interested in as an Ohio State fan, we're going to hit on it. It's spring football. That's still at the top of the mountain. That's key. The Buckeye football, the recruiting on the trail stuff is heating up right now. Another boom for Ohio State this weekend. We're going to talk about that. Bill Kurlick, the dean of Buckeye recruiting, he will be with us in the 7 o'clock hour to break down what the Buckeyes have done there. Ryan Day had a press conference today, so there's still a ton of topics and storylines as we are in our last show. We're on the very last day of March. So we're heading towards April Fool's Day tomorrow. We got to watch out for things tomorrow. And then we're going to be just a couple of Saturdays away from the spring showcase, which is also going to constitute a game. We heard that from Ryan Day last week, that even though it's still going to be the spring showcase on April 12th at the Horseshoe at noon, they want to play a football game. So all the healthy bodies that are there, it'd be a great time to come out there and see, especially these quarterbacks, mainly Julian Sayin, zip it around. They're not going to give you, it's becoming more and more clear. I can tell you from the press conference today that they're not going to give you any kind of pecking order or anything at all about Julian Sayin being the starting quarterback for Ohio State. That is going to be a ways down the road. And I can't wait to talk some more about this Ohio State men's basketball offseason because transfer portal is here and now. It's been open. We know that Gabe Cupps has come in. He's an Ohio guy. He played a couple years at Indiana, did not get to do much as a true freshman, didn't have big numbers, and then he was hurt all last year. So it's a little bit of a flyer kind of get for the Buckeyes. But the guy that wasn't here basically all season, Meechie Johnson, he got just under that threshold for where he would be allowed to get a waiver to play another season. He pretty much went into the transfer portal right away and is on his way out. And I did see from 24/7 Sports transfer portal rankings, there's, hundreds of these guys, but Meechie and Gabe Cupps were right about in that same spot in ranking. But I think, as we know, Meechie is way, way more experienced than a guy like Gabe Cupps. But I also think we know you shouldn't really have been thinking about Meechie coming back to Ohio State once he left the team. So that one certainly isn't a surprise. It just sort of ends that tale for this year for Buckeye basketball. But so much more to get to. Tyvis Powell, the defensive MVP of the national championship team, he's going to be with us at 6:35 to talk all things Buckeye football, where his mind is, looking at some of these position battles on the defensive side of things for Buckeye football as they head towards that spring game as well. So a lot of fun coming up here. As I've been telling you, the showcase will be Saturday, April 12th at Ohio Stadium. Our pregame coverage that day will begin at 11:45 a.m. Coming up, we're going to hear from Coach Ryan Day in our spring football sound-off as the Buckeye Roundtable continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready? doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready, recover, repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
For 100 years, our passionate Atlas Butler has been helping people. From those who have relied on us for years to those who call us for the first time. For our team, their families, and our community, Atlas Butler is here to keep Central Ohio safe and comfortable with trusted, convenient service. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome back to this week's Buckeye Roundtable Show. It is presented by Burger King. I'm Timmy Hall. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. We got a lot to get to here. We're going to get to some Ryan Day comments as the spring showcase gets closer and closer, coming up in a couple of weeks. The Foundation has done a great job of supporting Ohio State student athletes as they give back to our community. Please visit thefoundation.com today to see how you can make an impact on Ohio State student athletes.
It's time now for Buckeye Roundtable's Ohio State football spring sound-off.
All right, there's really no area we can't touch on. That's how these Ryan Day press conferences go. That's a good thing, too, because you really have so many questions, and it's a team that is losing a lot of talent, as we know, because we just saw Pro Day, and you get to see, or you're reminded again, just how many of those key players from the national championship team are on their way out the door. So it's okay to have the same kind of expectations. I am skeptical that this is a repeat year. I think that would be shocking. I think that would be a stunning story if they regrouped, new quarterback, a lot of new players, new running back room, still one of the most insanely talented wide receivers and wide receiver groups that we've seen. So you have that, and there's actually another good weapon on offense that I'll mention here briefly that's on the squad as well now that maybe not a lot of people are fully up to speed on. But let's start with Ryan Day talking about a key linebacker that's going to be moving up the depth chart because you've got guys out the door. Cody Simon is not there anymore. Arvell Reese. Ryan Day spent some time talking about this talented linebacker.
Yeah, Arvell, when you just look at him physically, he's worked very hard to build up his body to get stronger, but he's also his football IQ. He's played and some meaningful snaps, obviously coming off of last year. He's taken the next step. And sometimes after the season's over, it can only be a few weeks, but you come in with a different mindset as you start to move and your role changes within the team. I feel like that's happened for Arvell. I think it's been fun to watch as the defensive staff has worked to, figure out how to maximize his strengths. He has a lot of them, and he's got the right mindset.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people, the second that they saw Arvell take the field in just the reckless abandon he plays the game with. Now, as I've talked to, I mentioned Tyvis Powell's going to come up on the show here at about 6:35, so we look forward to that. I've talked to him before specifically about Arvell Reese and what we are looking forward to and what we're wondering about, where he's going to make his improvements, as you heard Ryan talking about him there. I'm not afraid of him as a tackler. I'm not afraid of his sheer will and his desire to go up and hit somebody. That's not it. It's going to be, will he be that overall balanced linebacker that can get it done in pass coverage? And I think he's a good enough athlete to where you show him enough film and he starts to, learn and be a smarter football player. He will figure that part out. I like starting from the point of a super physical player that looks like he wants to be out there flying around the field and blowing up the play. And that's what Arvell Reese does for me. That's why I like his chances. Now, anytime you have a scrimmage, you get some more opportunity to evaluate. So the Buckeyes did that over the weekend, and this was Ryan Day's thoughts on it.
Well, the first thing that, it just depends on what kind of weekend you want to have. If you want to have a good weekend, you make a cut up of the ones, then you watch the twos, then you watch the threes. If you don't want to have a good weekend, you just watch the ones, twos, and threes in order of how they practice. And then it's a long weekend. It just depends on how you want to do that. But when you're going against each other in the spring, there's a lot of things to take into consideration. We're still installing some things, some guys in other places. But as spring goes on, typically what you see in the spring is what you see in the fall. I mean, it just kind of happens that way. So, we watch the film, we make adjustments, we make the corrections, and we move on. And that's the job of the coaches, but it's also the job of the players to continue to make corrections to get better. I know that seems like a little thing, but if you're continually making the same mistakes over and over again, you're not getting better. That's a problem. If you make mistakes, we get it, but you got to make those corrections. So we're in the middle of spring right now, halfway through, and a little bit more than halfway through, I guess, now. And so now we got to really see those guys make improvements. It's really important. If we're just kind of flatlining there, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, well, this is the time of year, and you're getting some new players. You're getting transfer players that are in. You're seeing a lot of freshmen that are going through this for the first time. So as much as it is for the players, spring football is also a learning period for all the coaches. Plus, you also have a lot of new assistant coaches. So they're learning on the fly as well. And this is why I like this cut. This one's a little bit longer, but bear with us because there's some good stuff in here when Ryan is asked about who individually has impressed him this spring. This is when you get your notepad out and start marking down those players. If you got ideas about who's going to make some headway in the offseason coming back here in fall camp, these might be some names to think about.
It's been good to watch CJ work and in sort of a new role. I think he's embraced it and doing a nice job. Arvell as well, is doing some really good things, and it's fun to watch as Coach Patricia and Coach Walton kind of put this puzzle together on the guys that we have. So I think both those guys have stood out. I like the way the other linebackers are running around, Peyton Pierce and Riley, TJ. It's been good to watch them. Jermaine is now out there, and you feel him every day. He's competitive along with Davison and the other corners. I think both Jalen and Malik have made a move at safety. I think that's been good. And Caleb right now, Caleb Downs has been practicing limited, so it's been good to get those guys in there. The running back room has been good. I think James. It's hard in the spring to evaluate running backs because we're not taking them to the ground really very often. So, but James looks good, and CJ and Bo, all three of those guys, and even Sam has done a nice job. So, again, hard to evaluate, but there's improvement there. The tight end room is deep as we thought it would be. There's a lot of growth there. Up front, I feel good right now, or feel solid interior. The development of the tackles is still something that's a work in progress. That I feel like we have what we need there, but there just needs to continue to get more and more reps
So the other thing is you don't want to take Ryan Day talking about player after player after player. And it started hot, right, with the linebacker room where he left off talking about Arvell Reese. But C.J. Hicks, of course, is going to be one of this big storylines for the season, where you've got a highly recruited guy, an Ohio kid who's also helping to recruit the rest of that class. He doesn't really see the field much. It's spot duty at best for CJ, but really an immensely talented kid, an athletic kid, but he just can't find his spot in this classic, the four-down lineman front for Ohio State, which is what had been run under the previous regime. Of course, our defensive coordinator now moving on to Penn State. And now Matt Patricia, who's got all the Super Bowl rings you could ask for, seems to be determined to find a way. And I think this is also Ryan Day up top, and it's collective. It's saying, hey, how can we want to make sure as coaches that we get something out of C.J. Hicks this last season. I think they are taking that upon themselves as a challenge. And so it's not a shock to hear him start with him. That's kind of where his mind went with the linebacker room with C.J. Hicks, but mentioning a lot of those other guys and then to the secondary. And he didn't actually mention his name for the tight end room. But I'll just tell you, Max Clare, who transfers in from Purdue, he did wind up. You guys know about the black stripe removal tradition that they have there. The first guy to lose the black stripe in a spring practice, that is a big deal. He's the first one of the mid-year enrollees to lose a black stripe. And that's not a surprise because Claire is a stud player. And I think maybe some people had put that in the back of their mind that he actually did transfer in. But the tight end room to get a guy like Max when you've got players leaving, you got a guy like G. Scott Jr. who's aged out, who's not going to be around anymore, that is huge. And to see that he's going about it the right way, I think it's really big time. The only other thing I'll give you right now is that they're really not ramping up just yet. Or let Ryan Day answer that for you. How much have things ramped up 2 weeks in?
It got ramped up last week. It was very intense last week. We almost had to pull them back at one point. This is a group that likes to get after it. They're edgy. There was a point where, we almost got a little bit too emotional at a couple of spots, but that's because these guys are fighting for positions, that's the way you want it as a coach. But it's ramped up. It's ramped up now. I think our coaches feel it. I think the players feel it. They know. We got to be ready to go week one. So, it's already in our back of our minds as we have that urgency coming off of last year. But, yeah, that is all behind us, and it's all about moving forward. And we all know that these guys got to grow and get on the field and get this experience. So every day out there, every rep matters. And it's ramped up in a big way right now.
No, that's good to hear. And you know what? When it's Ohio State, when it's football, if the pads are on and they're clicking, you can imagine how passionate and how aggressive that's going to be. There are jobs on the line, like Ryan said. It's go time here. Again, coaches' comments were presented by Kroger. Kroger Pickup is the easy way to get what you want right when you need it. Try Kroger Pickup today in the Kroger app or at Kroger.com. We will flip it to men's basketball. Lots needs to happen with this team in the offseason in the portal. Adam Jardy, the Dispatch, covers the team. Where do we stand right now? What could be coming next as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues?
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
Where more than 1,700 scientists are working on new treatments and new hope for every form of cancer.
You're making the choice to have the most advanced treatments, many of which were developed right here.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get one juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, one original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota. Now through March 31st, get 4.99 APR financing on a stylish new 25 Corolla. Or 5.99 on Corolla Hybrid, excludes Corolla Cross and GR Corolla. Or lease a gas-powered 25 Corolla LE for $239 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details. Or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Basketball talk coming up here in a second. Welcome back to this week's Buckeye Roundtable Show. It's presented by Burger King. I'm Timmy Hall. Buckeye fans, say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings with a fixed price plan with AEP Energy. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. And be sure to tune in each game for the AEP Energy halftime report.
It's time now for the Buckeye Roundtable Fast Break.
He is Adam Jardy, who covers men's hoops for the Columbus Dispatch. Adam, we're well into the offseason here. Hey, I did notice the Crown started today, and Thad Matta and Butler got a win, and this is where the Buckeyes were invited, but they chose not to do it so they could get a jump start on the transfer portal season. How do you think they're doing so far?
It's been kind of quiet, honestly, to this point. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, it's been a little bit under the radar at the moment. Not a whole lot in the way of like real, actual, exciting news. But
sure,
I think that's, given how the portal went last year for Ohio State, I think it's probably a good sign, because I think you would rather, as an Ohio State fan, I think you'd rather know that they're really vetting things and really, maybe taking a breath before making a decision or two, given kind of how the season went. So it's been quiet, but I don't expect it'll stay that way much longer.
Yeah, no, those are some good points, Adam. I mean, you also wonder how many players, again, some teams just got bounced from the NCAA tournament here just in the last 3 or 4 days. But taking some extra time is not necessarily a bad thing, even before going into the transfer portal. So you can evaluate what happened in your season, if you're deciding or on the fence about coming back or not. But as far as now, Austin Parks, Evan Mahaffey, Michi Johnson in the portal. Did you think there'd be more or less going to the portal from Ohio State's side at this point in time yet?
Yeah, and I think there will be. I don't think this is it. And I'm not expecting any sort of like mass exodus at this point. But yeah, I think there's at least 2 guys that ended the season on the active roster who I do think will not be with Ohio State next year, because you're still just going to see some more movement, and there's some guys that have some sort of future decisions to weigh. So yeah, they're not done yet, and there's always the possibility that when we think back to last year, Felix Okpara didn't enter the portal until pretty late in the process. They brought in Aaron Bradshaw, and then Felix left. So there's always that potential too, where you're going to bring somebody in, and that might, cause some roster shuffling down the road. So I don't expect that the final number will be 3. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, Bradshaw's a guy that I wonder about, and there's just a lot of guys on this team, aside from that nucleus that is Bruce, Devin Royal, John Mobley, who's already announced that he's coming back, and you could throw Sean Stewart in there. I like the way he played down the stretch. Would love for him to be a part of the team. Would also love to see if he could come off the bench if Ohio State can make improvements to the starting front line. But there's a lot. Do you know? Could you describe a little bit more to the listeners how this process goes? I picture total chaos all the time because there's so many names in the portal, and the price tags on these guys, have to be way more than what, not just Ohio State, but many teams actually think they're worth. But that's just the life we're living in, right? But could you describe a little bit of how often they're on the phone and how much of a 12-hour a day job this is for them right now?
A 12-hour day might be cutting it short. I mean, it's sun up to sundown, honestly, and it's well beyond sundown. Like it's essentially chaos. Yeah, because not only are you trying to find out like who is available, who could you reasonably have conversations with, who do you have relationships with, but you're also trying to keep the guys in your roster that you want to keep, and then help the guys that you don't want to keep find their new home and help them, be in a good spot. And so it is crazy. And I think the thing that is the hardest to sort of wrap your head around is that just because someone is like the number one center in the transfer portal right now, they might be the 10th best center in 2 weeks. Players have until April 22nd to enter the portal, and that doesn't mean they have to decide by then. It just means they have to be in there if they want to have their eligibility for next year. So it's very much a constantly moving target of, okay, well, who's available? And if we go for this guy, is there a chance that someone even better is going to show up in the portal in another week or 2 weeks? So it's constantly moving, constantly evolving, and you have to just try to find the guys that you think best fit what you need in as short a time as possible. I've had so many people describe to me as speed dating, and that's probably, I've never done it, but that sounds like a pretty good analogy.
There's a reason why we don't do it, right? There's a reason why guys like you and me never did that. That does take a special type of person to want to even be interested in that. Adam Jardy covers Buckeye hoops for the Columbus Dispatch, and you said a lot back there. I agree. I found it hard, even as somebody that analyzes Buckeye basketball, to even come up with good ideas or good fits because there's just so many names. And then there's a group that you're wondering, well, is Ohio State even going to have the budget to go after a guy like this? And then you're looking at this group. But there was a guy that was right around the top 15 that did come up for a visit, and that's Dalen Swain down at Xavier. That I like the fit. Do you know anything about him or how the visit went, or if that's something that could work? Because Devin Royal, he's got a background with Dalen Swain.
Well, as far as a source that I talked to today, I don't believe that he did actually visit Ohio State.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that was maybe a little bit in the wind, not so. Okay.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that Ohio State's not involved, or it doesn't mean that Ohio State couldn't be involved, but I can tell you that Dalen is very close with Sean Miller, and that Texas is very much a strong option for Dalen as he figures out what this next step looks like. So it doesn't mean Ohio State couldn't be involved, and doesn't mean that Ohio State isn't in the running. But I continue to hear pretty strong things about his relationship with Sean Miller. So he has not visited Ohio State, though.
Okay, so that could be tough with Sean going to Texas, and this is just the game. This is the game that Ohio State is playing right now. What are your feelings on Bruce Thornton? Because we're in this mode here where it's very rare to see anybody stay 4 years at the same school. But of course, with 3 misses with the NCAA tournament, anything could be understandable at this point with Bruce.
Yeah, I think what I continue to hear is that the most likely path for Bruce right now is he's going to go through that NBA draft process and weigh his options and kind of see where everything falls in that regard. I think if he doesn't get whatever range he would want to be in, I think if he doesn't get feedback that solidifies him in that type of range, I think he's most likely back at Ohio State, but again, you never know. And with the amount of money that's being thrown around right now, and the asking price for some guys, you can't say for any certainty like this guy's back, this guy's not back until they publicly announce it and you see them in uniform. I mean, that's just kind of what it is. But I think most likely we will see Bruce Thornton at Ohio State next year, but that doesn't mean we will see Bruce Thornton at Ohio State. The options are definitely out there for him, and there are plenty of schools that if you could get 1 year of Bruce Thornton to come in and be what we've seen for the last 3 years, he's a desirable option for just about anybody in the transfer portal. So it's going to be interesting. He's going to have a lot of things to weigh, but I think most likely he's at Ohio State next year, and I know they feel pretty good about retaining him.
That is good. Adam, what do you think the basketball program is getting? Are you confident with the financial support they're getting, as we've seen some other football-first schools out there start to make a lot of moves in men's basketball?
I don't know that they are getting the full support, or I shouldn't say that. I don't know that. I know that the foundation is busting its butt, and I know that from that side of things, I think they're in a pretty strong, position of strength, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know outside of that if the support is quite at the level that maybe the basketball program truly needs. And you do run into those things when you're at a school that is football first. I'm interested, going forward, to see as they adopt the new revenue sharing model, Kevin Willard going from Maryland to Villanova. The Big East is going to be really interesting. When you start talking about schools that aren't going to have to be allocating, X amount of dollars to football,
right?
And that can go to basketball.
A lot of them don't have programs, right? Or Division I programs.
Exactly. So we might be about to see a pretty seismic shift there as far as what a Big East school can pay compared to a Big Ten school. But having said that, no, I do think Ohio State is in a pretty good spot from an NIL standpoint. And I do think that, like I said, what they're getting from the foundation seems to be pretty significant. But I think that Ohio State as a whole could probably do more when it comes to supporting the NIL efforts on the men's basketball side.
Man, we keep seeing year after year after year how it has to happen, and it just does. They're at a critical time. Let's hope that they get close to what they need. Adam Jardy of the Columbus Dispatch with some portal topics and some off-season chatter. Thanks a lot for the time. Really appreciate it. I know it'll be busy the next couple of weeks.
Hey, always happy to talk ball with you, Timmy. Thanks for having me.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you so much. Adam Jardy, again, follow his stuff at the Dispatch. It is always a good time reading it. Coming up, we're going to talk some Buckeye football. Flip it back. Yes, football first, right? So we're going right back to it. Tyvis Powell, defensive MVP of the 2014 National Championship. We talk some spring ball as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
As the official hot dog of Ohio State athletics, Sugardale is dedicated to delicious. Whether you're cheering on the Buckeyes at the game or grilling at your home tailgate, you can count on Sugardale to score a touchdown. Made right here in Ohio for more than 100 years, Sugardale has always taken a personal approach to making great tasting, high-quality meats. Look for Sugardale hot dogs, bacon, ham, and more at your local grocery store.
Buckeye Nation, join us on April 13th at the 2025 Ohio State Four-Mother, presented by Union Home Mortgage, the Ohio Beef Council, and Raising Cane's. This is your chance to run down the tunnel and finish on the 50-yard line at Ohio Stadium. A portion of the proceeds benefit the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. This is something you won't want to miss. Register today at ohiostatefourmother.com. Go Bucks!
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
We're going to get back to some football conversation in just a moment here. Tyvis Powell will be with us. Always look forward to chat with my friend there. I am Timmy Hall. Buckeye Roundtable is presented by Burger King. And Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Joint partners American Electric Power, Kroger, Donato's, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus, and supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Buckeyes Care.
Buckeye Roundtable Red Zone.
Tyvis, it's always fun to talk to you. We're only a couple of weeks away from the spring game. I know you have fond memories of running out there for a spring game, don't you?
Oh, my goodness. The first time I got to go out in the shoe, I was, you know what? You know, the thing is, it takes the emotion of it, seeing all of those fans out there. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not a real game, but to see all of those fans and be like, man, they all here to see me. It's like I got to give these people something to see. As you know, Tim, I'm a crowd pleaser. So, you know, I want people to spill their popcorn for something that I do.
So, I mean, are you really able to do that in a spring game? I mean, you got to make a big-time play to really get a crowd at a spring game up and lively. You know, we can't hit the quarterbacks and all that.
You know, Tim, I looked at my first spring game. I did have an interception. Now, it got called back. A hater would tell you that it got called back. But I had an interception. And then in my last spring game, I picked Cardell smooth off and took a selfie with him. So I gave the people what they came to see.
Oh, anytime you can make a play on your old friend Cardale Jones, then it must have been a good day at the office. Tyvis, how many of these wide receivers on Ohio State's roster do you think you could guard?
Every last one of them. What are you talking about?
Oh come on.
You talking about today? Like right now, currently?
Well,
every last one of them.
Oh, please. Well, we know today you couldn't cover a 1, but maybe back when you were still running that sub-4 540 going into the combine.
Nah, to be honest with you, when you look at these wide receivers, they are very talented. Like Jeremiah Smith is, I mean, he's like me on offense. Like that, and he moves faster than me, and he runs routes really crispy. So he's a guy that's just a freak of nature. He would be a tough cover. When you look at a guy like Cardell Tate, he's also a guy that they don't talk about him a lot because of the Jeremiah Smiths, but he is also very fast, and he runs some really good routes as well. Brandon Ennis is the one guy that I would hate to guard out of all of them because he's one of those small, shifty guys. You know, he's dropped some weight. He's moving much more quicker this year. So he's the guy that I probably would struggle with the most because as me being a taller DB, it's hard going up against those guys that can shift left to right.
You know, one of the things that Ryan Day gave an update on, I don't know if you saw this part of it yet, Tyvis, but he was talking about the wide receivers, and obviously the top end, everyone is really cool with, right? You mentioned all three of those guys back there. But he did say today that 4 through 6 have really got to come on for us. Those were his words. And I think when we look, Quincy Porter's another one of those guys that you kind of ooh and ah over, 6'4", 205 pounds as a freshman. But it almost leads me to think that Max Clare and Will Kazmarek at the tight end positions will be really big for this team because of something like that.
Well, yeah, I think that, like I said, when you have to have a secret weapon. Every year, Ohio State has somebody that's just like an X factor. You know, a couple of years ago, what's the slot that we had that played running back as well? I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was a really good Xavier.
Oh yes,
Johnson.
Xavier.
Xavier Johnson,
who had the incredible game against Notre Dame. Yeah.
Exactly. He was a really big X factor. At the beginning of the season, nobody knew about JJ, and he was a huge X factor. So I think when you look at this season, you need to figure out who's the guy, because teams already know about Cardinal Tate. They know about JJ, obviously. They need that guy that people don't know about just yet, and that could be Max Clare. And that also could be Brandon Ennis as well. But I think Max Clare is the guy that a lot of defensive coordinators are not going to pay attention to. Yes, they know him because of the Purdue, and he did some really good things at Purdue. But a defensive coordinator is not going to put his best cover guy on him, because they're going to be so worried about trying to stop these wide receivers. So Max Clare is in prime position to have a really big year for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, it could be exciting. Talked about him a little bit earlier in the hour. Tyvis Powell is with us, breaking down some Buckeyes here in the red zone. Now, the position you played, of course, you got one of the best in the country. Might go down as one of the best ever do it with Caleb Downs and the way he can play. But Lathan Ransom leaving creates a bit of a hole. Could be somebody like Jalen McClain. There's some interesting names that could slide into that spot. Tyvis, what are you looking for in that position?
Well, I mean, I'm looking for a guy that can play the one thing Lathan did really well is that he played the post exceptionally well. Like, if they threw a ball across the middle of the field, like in a post, he was there to make a play on it. You know, you think about him a couple of years ago against Michigan State, he makes the great play in the post. Last year, he was very aggressive in the run game, a really good tackler, but he did a really good job in the post. If you're going to play that position, you have to be extremely disciplined, because if you're going to be a one-high team, meaning there's only one safety in the post, and you have to be very, very disciplined. And it can get boring back there because there's not a lot of work if the defense is doing what they're supposed to do. But when they need you to be really good. So you need a sure tackler and a guy that's going to be there when you need them the most. So discipline. These guys, whoever's going to replace Lathan, has to be a very disciplined player and be able to be a sure tackler when it breaks.
It's actually not going to be too much longer before spring football is all tied up. Saturday the 12th is coming up. What would a guy like Tyvis Powell have done the second spring football was done? We know you're not going to be eating bread or having a poor diet. What would you have done to keep getting ready?
Well, once the spring is done, the DBs, typically we would meet every Saturday. You know, you go back to working out, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday in the summertime. But our DBs always got together on Saturday mornings. Some people will come in there and get like a quick lift. Maybe it's like some bis or tries or some resistance bands. But after that got done, you know, we would go out on the field and do some drills. We start with some speed ladders, and then we'd always pick some drills to work on. And it was all of us, like corners and safeties used to come out there and do it. And it was really good work. That's where a lot of young guys get extra reps. With the older guys, we try to get them up to speed to make sure, just in case something happens, we're confident these guys can go in the game and make something.
Well, yeah, and the dog's barking, right? Because you're a worker, Tyvis, and there's always work to be done. Work on the football field, work at home. Take the dog for a walk, will you? Come on.
No, because you hear him, he's harassing people in the window. Just imagine if I take him outside, he's going to harass people outside.
He wants to get out there. Let him get out there in his environment, do what he does. Let the hungry dog eat, all right?
He needs to mind his business. He's always in people's business out there.
Hey, grab your glove. We're talking to the baseball coach next, so this should be fun coming up.
Oh, listen, you don't want me to. He need Ken Griffey III. Tell him I still got some eligibility.
Okay, I will. I'll send him some video of your swing, of that famous softball swing. You might go running in the other direction. Tyvis, thanks a lot for the time, buddy.
See y'all later. Go Bucks.
All right, there he goes. Tyvis Powell, the defensive MVP of the national championship team back in 2014, talking some ball with us. We are going to go in the dugout. Good weekend for the Buckeye baseball team and Coach Justin Hare. It's next as Buckeye Roundtable continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan. You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota, like the best-selling Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through March 31st, get 4.99 APR financing on any new Camry. Or lease a Camry LE from just $299 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details. Or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Buckeye Nation, join us on April 13th at the 2025 Ohio State Four-Mother, presented by Union Home Mortgage, the Ohio Beef Council, and Raising Cane's. This is your chance to run down the tunnel and finish on the 50-yard line at Ohio Stadium. A portion of the proceeds benefit the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. This is something you won't want to miss. Register today at ohiostatefourmiler.com. Go Bucks!
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
It is baseball time in just a moment. Welcome back. It's Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King. I'm Timmy Hall. Coach Justin Hare will be with us in a second. Union Home Mortgage is the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn about their 1% down payment program at UHM.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 2229.
It's time to talk Ohio State baseball. This is Buckeye Roundtable's In the Dugout with Coach Justin Hare.
Always a great week to talk some baseball, and I'm pretty sure I'm catching Coach Hare at a good time. Coach, what a weekend it was. The doubleheader on Saturday against Oregon. I can't imagine what was flowing through your veins at the end of that day, your first two Big Ten victories, and how big they were, right?
Yeah, just awesome day. You know, really, really happy for our guys, man. They're, you know, I tell those guys, and we tell those guys all the time, man, we're not the ones that are in the box or on the mound. They are. You know, it's our job to try to prepare them and put them in a position to be successful, and was just really happy and pleased with our guys and their competitiveness and their fight, and found a way to punch through in the late innings on both sides of the doubleheader on Saturday, which was just pretty awesome.
That is cool. And let's go back to game one, because, I mean, both games were wild. There were scoring in both games, but back and forth, 11-10, you take that first one. And aside from the offense, though, we talked about your pitching staff last week. How good did that have to feel for Hunter Shaw to have that performance on the mound to retire the side. I mean, you get the 3 runs in the 8th, and then you know it's on him, and he retires the side. What was that moment like for him? And I'm sure he was really basking in the glow afterwards with the guys.
Yeah, he just he's a guy that, he's worked incredibly hard from where he was last year to where he's been this year. We've put him in some tight spots, and he's done well. We've overextended him probably too many times, and his numbers probably aren't what he would like them to be because of that, because we've asked him to go maybe one more time out, go on the mound one more time, take the ball one more time, then probably in an ideal world we should, just to try to, just lack of some options and stuff. And so, for him to just be put in that situation and I think he felt like we trusted him, and I think that provided him some confidence, and he just went out there and did what he was capable of doing. And, I just hugged him after and just told him, hey, man, I'm just really proud of you, man, really proud of the way you competed. And he's just like, Coach, thanks for trusting me, and thanks for putting me in that spot and allowing me the opportunity to do it, So I think that thankfulness and that competitiveness, I just think carries him a long way, and was just so happy for him and for our guys to finish that first one off.
Yeah, Shaw absolutely had it working in the top of the 9th to get that first win. Now, when Oregon comes in game 1 on Friday of the 3-game set, they take you down 7-0. I'm sure that was gut check time, and then finding out you're going to have the doubleheader on Saturday to take both of those games. What a response by your team, too, in a big spot.
Yeah, Friday night, man, it was a really good college baseball game. I mean, it was 4-0 going into the 8th, and we had left some guys in scoring position, weren't able to kind of cash in, a 2-out hit here or there, and so there was some pressure and some back and forth, and was a really good college baseball game. And, unfortunately, we just weren't able to put enough pressure on them. In the end, and they, extended there in the 8th and 9th and finished us off. But I told our guys after the game, just like, hey, man, I know the results aren't what we want them to be, but we're getting closer. If we can just execute like we're capable of executing and do the things that we know that we're capable of doing, man, we've got a chance to break through. Just stay in the fight and keep punching, and man, they took that literally, on Saturday. And so, I just, there's some pent up frustrations and some challenges, and our guys channeled that, I think, in the right direction on Saturday, and came out and just wouldn't be denied, and that's a quality that hopefully we can build on and get better with as we move through the middle of the year here.
Justin Hare, Ohio State baseball coach, is with us. And by the way, the cream-colored Ohio State throwback unis with the hat to pair it with now, those are on fire. Tell me that we're going to have those back in stock sometime soon. I know I saw that on the Fanatics site a year ago or so. I never jumped and bought one. I'm looking to try and get one now. My goodness, those are clean.
Yeah, our guys love them, man. Seems like they're a fan favorite. So, you know how it goes, Tim. If you win in a uniform, that uniform tends to make its way back into the rotation quite often. So, we keep winning in the creams, man. They'll keep showing up. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, that's good. Let's get them stocked in the team shop. We need to see those things. Right. We need to see those things aplenty. And I got to love this too. You got another good game coming up, the midweek game. We talked a little bit about, how good they can be last week, but West Virginia 22-4 right now. I love how I see this too. It's going to be Western night at Bill Davis. Everyone from West Virginia is going to love how we're making it a Western themed night at the ballpark for them. That's great.
Hey, tip our hat to McKinley Rogers and our marketing crew, and I saw we're going to have a mechanical bull, so I guess that's pretty cool. And quite honestly, the crowd on Friday night was really good. The crowd, especially first game Saturday, barking in the park. Original game time on Saturday, we had about 2,000 people there. One of our alumni, younger alumni said, hey man, that's one of the better crowds we've had in a while. Our guys feed off that energy and so, again, if we can just keep putting a good product on the field, hopefully the fans keep showing up, whether it's for Western Night or Bark in the Park or Dollar Dogs or half-price beer night, whatever it is, man, whatever it takes, let's get some butts in the seats, man, and bring some energy back to Bill Davis. And, hopefully we can, keep playing well at home.
Get him out there to watch some Buckeye baseball. I've been in many a bar throughout my days. I've never done a mechanical bull in my life. Have you, Justin? I won't do it.
No. maybe I can neither confirm nor deny that there may have been a time when I lived in Arkansas that that there was a mechanical bull involved in a night out or two. So
come on,
I'm not going to say one way or the other, but yeah, man, if you can get bucked off those things pretty quick.
Oh, come on. I've been in neighborhoods in Arkansas. People had mechanical bulls in their yards, Justin. Come on.
There's some good times to be had. There's no doubt.
All right. Good luck against West Virginia this week. Congrats on the last 2 wins over Oregon, Coach.
Thanks, Tim.
Justin Hare, our baseball coach. That mechanical bull wouldn't fit in our yard, Dad. It's not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room. That is pretty cool, though. They sound like they have a real good time set up for you guys. You should go to OhioStateBuckeyes.com. Check out the ticket situation for the Buckeye baseball game versus West Virginia Tuesday night. I think it's going to be some decent weather here in a spotty week, that's for sure. Much, much more. We got Buckeye football recruiting. We got hockey. We got the Skip Mossick dance party. A lot coming up in hour 2 of Roundtable.
Add some spice to your pizza night with Donato's new Smoky Hot Honey Pizza and Smoky Hot Honey Chicken Sub. Bringing hardwood smoked bacon, wood-fired chipotle seasoning, and Mike's Hot Honey together for savory, smoky, sweet heat perfection. Now get $4 off a large Smoky Hot Honey Pizza using promo code SMOKY. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's. Gotta love more.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith, Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University, Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Family dinners, game nights, and holiday parties. It all happens at home. And we want to help you realize your dream of homeownership. We're the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and if you're ready to buy a home, we may be able to help. Visit myohiohome.org for more information on down payment assistance, lower interest rates, and more. OFA makes purchasing a home more affordable. Visit myohiohome.org. Home ownership. Make it part of your future.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland.
I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good evening. I'm Buddy Wells. Baseball tonight. The Reds are at home as they host the Rangers for the first of a 3-game set. First pitch is at 6:40. You can listen to that game right here on the Fan, starting at 8 after Buckeye Roundtable. As for the Guardians, they're out on the West Coast as they play the first of 3 in San Diego against the Padres. That game will get started at 9:40 tonight. A pair of Elite 8 games in the women's NCAA tournament tonight at 7 o'clock. Texas meets TCU. Then at about 9 or so, it's UConn against Southern California. South Carolina and UCLA clinched their spots in the Final Four yesterday. On the men's side of things, the Final Four will get underway in San Antonio on Saturday night this coming weekend. It's the 4 1 seeds meeting with a trip to the national championship game on the line. First up, it's Auburn against Florida. Then in the nightcap, Duke will play Houston. And in hockey, the Blue Jackets will play the first of 2 at home tomorrow night when they host the Nashville Predators. Face-off at Nationwide Arena is at 7 o'clock. Breaking sports news when it happens right here on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Looking for a very special way to commemorate the 9th National Championship in Ohio State football history? Then check out the beautiful Ohio State timepieces at OxiaTime.com. Oxia has created a series of heirloom quality designs to celebrate the Buckeyes, including the limited edition Ryan Day autograph box sets. Equally impressive to the quality of their products is the quality of the people behind these watches. Go to OxiaTime.com to learn more on their backstory and claim your piece of Ohio State history. That's AXIATime.com.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, is on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hour 2 of the program. I can't wait for in about 8 minutes when we talk some more Buckeye football. A 5-star safety recruit committed here recently. A big boom. Blaine Bradford. Bill Kurlick, the Dean of Buckeye Football Recruiting. He will be by right here as we start the hour to talk about him and what that means for the rest of this 2026 class for the Buckeyes and where they go from there. Welcome back to our show. The Ohio State Spring Football Showcase will be Saturday, April 12th at Ohio Stadium. Our pregame coverage will begin at 11:45 a.m., but right now it's time to talk a little high school sports.
It's time for the Encova Insurance High School Player Award on Buckeye Roundtable.
One of the highlights of the Buckeye Roundtable show is the presentation of the Encova Insurance Archie Griffin Athlete of the Week Award. During each roundtable, Encova Insurance and the Ohio State Sports Network honor a high school athlete for their outstanding play and team leadership. And we're going to go with Olentangy Orange senior guard Ellis Apaya. We're going to basketball here. Why not spend one more week honoring some of the brilliant performances in the state championship games a week ago? Apaya, a Denison commit, was basically willing his team to win the D1 state title. They wound up outlasting a really talented Reynoldsburg team, 56-41, to grab their first state championship in school history. And Apaya scored a career-high 20 points on 8 of 10 shooting, 3 for 4 from downtown, 4 boards, 2 assists, and a steal. He scored 13 in the second half, made all of his threes. Apaya said that he was just hot, just feeling it, and his teammates noticed and allowed him to score that career high. What a game to do it in, right? Congrats to Ellis Apaya, Olentangy Orange senior guard, the recipient of this week's Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Athlete of the Week Award. Encova Insurance, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Time now for the American Dairy Association Mini Statewide Top Performers on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Why don't we stay up north? Some postseason recognition keeps pouring in for Ohio State basketball commit Marcus Johnson. Marcus is already Ohio's Mr. Basketball, which is one of the highest honors a player can get, as viewed by many. Now he leads the All-Ohio Boys Division III team as the Player of the Year. He led Garfield Heights to a 24-3 record. The state semifinals were averaging almost 30 points per game, 6 boards, 5 assists, and over 2 steals per game. Whether he reclassifies or not, he cannot get to Ohio State soon enough. Cannot wait to watch him. In addition, Quinn Turtle Kwasniak The all-time leading scorer in OHSAA history is the Player of the Year in Division 7, as Cornerstone Christian's title bid came just short. Lutheran East TJ Crumble, he gets the nod for Division 5 Player of the Year after leading the Lou to their third straight state championship. Third straight for Crumble personally, too. He averaged 27 points per game, over 13 boards per game. He's 6'8" and is going to make a heck of a college player. To Cincinnati action and switching sports to boys wrestling, 2 area wrestlers won national titles at the National High School Coaches Association 36th annual wrestling tournament down in Virginia Beach. Thousands of wrestlers from all over the country competed, but LaSalle senior Holden Hun and St. X sophomore Kane Schwager won some hardware. For Hun, he won the 152-pound national title, while Schwager repeated his title in the 145-pound division. Congratulations to both of them. Well done. Our top performers from around the state were presented by the American Dairy Association Mideast. A reminder from Ohio's dairy farmers: 8 ounces of delicious chocolate milk has 8 grams of high school protein, also high quality protein, with the power to fuel everyone from elite athletes to weekend warriors. Yeah, it works. Works for the high school athletes too. Now, before we get back to some Buckeye football recruiting, the crown for college basketball. I mentioned this with Adam Jardy earlier. That is today, and the best coach to ever do it here at Ohio State in basketball, in my opinion. I think a lot of people would share. You got to go back to Fred Taylor and guys like that when you won the national championship in 60. But Thad Matta, I mean, that was the golden era of Buckeye basketball, the 4 straight Sweet 16s, 2 Final Fours, trip to the national championship game. It was that run with Thad Matta. He is back at his alma mater at Butler. It's his 4th stint, because he played there. He was an assistant there. Then he moved on. Then he was an assistant there again, then the head coach, and now back, second stint as the head coach. So he's Butler through and through, right? And it's been a tough go of it. There are actually 6 teams in the 16-team field that are under 500. Yuck, right? For a made-for-TV event. But Thad Matta is actually on social media talking about this guy being maybe the biggest adversary for Butler basketball in their victory. They wound up winning this game, 86-84 over Utah, another under 500 team. But you will hear this in this short little clip of this insane Utah fan sitting courtside with no one else around him, because tickets apparently are that easy to come by in Vegas. I'm not even seeing, I see tickets as low as $22 for the later games. There's an 8:30 game, Nebraska, Arizona State, Washington State, Georgetown. I don't believe it. I really don't. I don't believe that $22 is the price, because I'm telling you, there's hardly anybody there. But take a listen to what Butler's players had to deal with trying to shoot free throws with this Utah fan.
Right into his lap. Andre Screen in his 2nd year at Butler.
Yeah. I'm not lying. That's not fake. Go and look it up. You'll see it all over social media. He actually had himself I don't know where you get this thing made. They had to have been passing him out at the event. You know how you see the turnover chains become a huge thing in college football over the years, and just these massive chains. I think Buckeye women's basketball had some sort of chain in the locker room for their best player. It's kind of funny. It's goofy. It's whatever. It's all for laughs and giggles and a good time. But again, this Utah fan had sort of these clear big glasses on and this giant Flava Flav type of crown for college basketball emblem and chain, like this, just like as big as you could possibly imagine, just screaming at the top of his lungs.
Right into his lap. Andre Screen in his 2nd year at Butler.
In Thad Matta, I saw a tape of an on-court interview he did late in the game where he basically just pointed to the guy and he said, our biggest problem tonight is number 23 over there for Utah. This dude is wearing a number 23 Utah jersey. I don't know if that was Keith Van Horn or just some random Utah jersey. I'm not good enough to remember what Van Horn's number was, but either way, that guy out of his mind. Watching some... who isn't a big fan of the crown for college basketball? That was game 1 in history, Butler and Utah. So Thad Matta and the guys got it done. But the Buckeyes, of course, declined the invite to that event so they could get a kickstart on next year. We are going to talk some Buckeye football recruiting. Big commitment to break down. Bill Kurlick is with us as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Union Home Mortgage knows Buckeye fans never leave Ohio State behind. We've helped millions of first-time home buyers get into their dream home through our 1% down payment program. Put as little as 1% down, and UHM tosses in up to 2% on the house. Learn more at UHM.com or call 877-846-4968. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,000 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get one juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, one original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota, like the best-selling RAV4. Now through March 31st, get 4.99 APR financing on a new 25 RAV4 or 5.99 on a RAV4 hybrid. Excludes plug-ins. Or lease a gas-powered RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye football lives here. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
We got a new Buckeye football player to talk about. Verbal commit. You get the point. We hope he becomes a Buckeye football player. But welcome back. Our show is presented by Burger King. You can visit your local BK restaurant, grab your $20 Buckeye Blitz bundle. It includes 2 Whoppers, a cheeseburger, 3 small fries, 3 small drinks, and a custom OSU crown, only at Burger King, where you rule.
It's time to talk Ohio State recruiting. This is Buckeye Roundtable's On the Trail.
At dinner time can never get here soon enough after that read. Bill, always good to talk to you. This is pretty big here to get this safety commit. Tell us right off the bat a little bit about the 5-star commitment, the new safety.
No doubt, it's huge, Tim. Blaine Bradford, safety out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and of course that is the home of the LSU Tigers. And Blaine Bradford has a brother that is going to LSU, signed with them out of the class of 2025. So many people thought that while it would probably come down to Ohio State or LSU, that he would probably opt for LSU, being that he's a Baton Rouge kid and brother there and all. But he had a visit to Ohio State this weekend. He started it on Friday, did not finish it until today. So it was basically a 4-day visit, which is
kidding.
A long visit for this time of the year. And before he left Columbus this morning, right around the time of Ohio State spring practice, he announced that he had indeed selected Ohio State over LSU.
That is big. That's like a Bill Kurlick super trip down to Florida, like staying from Friday all the way to Monday. Like, you can get a lot done. And, Bill, I'm sure you talked to a lot of people about this, but in reading some other, tea leaves, it sounded like he got to see and hear and experience an awful lot. As you would imagine, in those 4 days, watching the scrimmage, he's in team meetings, he's really getting to meet with Matt Guerrieri and Tim Walton. And again, I think that last two parts, the coaches, they are key. Of course, it still comes down to the coaches who are the recruiters here. And certainly it feels like you get another good one in elevating Matt Guerrieri. We already knew what Tim Walton could do, right, Bill?
Yeah, I mean, you look at this whole Ohio State staff right now. Matt Guerrieri has done this is the second year he has landed an elite safety, second year in a row. You got Fahim Delane last year out of Maryland, who is an elite safety, and then Blaine Bradford this year. Matt Guerrieri's doing a great job, and as you mentioned, Tim Walton, his work so far at Ohio State it speaks for itself, what he has done at Ohio State. And now Tyler Bowen coming in on the offensive line. Justin Fry did a great job of coaching and working with the offensive line this past season with the injuries and everything. But Tyler Bowen has come in, and he's taken offensive line recruiting to just another level. So you look at the entire staff right now, and it is, without question, a tremendous recruiting staff top to bottom.
No, it is nuts right now. Bill Kurlick, the dean of Buckeye recruiting, he is breaking some things down as we're going on the trail. So if you give me your prognosis of the entire 2026 class so far. It's 2 5-stars if you're counting Chris Henry Jr. as well. Most would. Most surfaces have him in the top 10. I think you guys have him at number 9 and number 2 as the overall wide receiver, if I'm not mistaken. But not that many guys overall yet, but 8 and 2 5-stars. What's the overall grade so far?
Well, right now it would probably be an A-, but it's kind of ironic, Tim. We on our site, bucknuts.com, 2 or 3 weeks ago, people were worried, what's going on with Ohio State recruiting. They have the number 45 class in the country, and they only have a few commitments. They're way behind. And I said, well, not really. I said that you look at the same time last year, early March, and they actually had 4 commitments this year and 3 a year ago. So they weren't behind. But they have now gone in the matter of, less about 3 weeks, they've gone from the number 45 class in the country to the number 7 class in the country. That's a tremendous jump in a short period of time. And I think, really, the best is still yet to come. They've got 8 commitments, and they are in on a lot of really high-level elite guys. They've done a super job of bringing in guys for visits this spring. They still have about 2 weeks to go in the spring. So really, all arrows are pointing up right now for Ohio State recruiting.
Well, I will go back to that number 1 recruit in the class right now, Bill. And obviously, wide receiver recruiting is not a new thing for the Buckeyes at this point in time. But what makes a guy, we know Chris Henry's family pedigree, right? What makes Chris Henry Jr. special? What sticks out about him?
Well, first of all, he's 6'5", 205 pounds, and you say, well, that's a tight end, and not with Chris Henry. I mean, he is fast, great hands. He's just a tremendous athlete in a big body, in a true wide receiver body as far as all the physical qualities. You look at Jeremiah Smith and you look at someone like Marvin Harrison. Those are big bodies that are tremendous athletes that have all the qualities any great wide receiver would have, and Chris Henry falls along those same lines.
I'm looking back at the overall team rankings for the class of 2026. It's still very, very early, right? And that's the point you make. But Penn State's in the top 10. Louisville is right there. That's an interesting team to see there. Oregon is right above the Buckeyes. And then when I go down from number 1 to number 4, it's USC, Clemson, LSU, Texas A&M. No shockers there. Is that the Kansas Jayhawks I see in your rankings at number 5 ahead of Ohio State? Again, that's not going to stick, but that's a wild team. We do know that they have a coach that they're excited about out there with Leipold.
Yeah, and they've done a good job. There's no question. I mean, but the thing you have to consider with them is that they already have 13 commitments, and when you do the rankings, it goes by points. The higher the person is ranked, the player is ranked, the more points you get, and then the more of them you have, the more points you get. So they've already got 13 commitments, so that really helps their ranking. Now, but that's not to say they're not doing a good job, because they are. They've got several 4-star, medium to high 4-star guys at the top of their class, but when you have 13 commitments, that really helps your rankings. When Ohio State gets to 13 commitments, they're going to have a whole lot more points, a lot more points than Kansas has right now with their 13 commitments.
Yes, they will soar ahead of them easily into the top 3. Could we finally see the Buckeyes grab a number 1 spot when it's all said and done?
You know, it's really hard to say this early, but the potential's there, especially because, to be honest, again, I thought Justin Fry did a great job, but you know, he didn't bring in a lot of highly ranked high school guys. Now, he did a great job recruiting the transfer portal, that's for sure. You know, he's brought in some really great players there. But as far as highly ranked offensive linemen, he maybe didn't get a lot of those. And now Tyler Bowen, you know, that's not going to be a place where Ohio State loses out points anymore. Tyler Bowen's already got Sam Greer, Maxwell Riley.
Yeah.
Those are really high quality offensive line commitments. And Tucker Smith's pretty darn good, too.
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah, very quickly, Bill, I did not ask you about the offensive lineman. We know that we had the show where we mentioned Maxwell Riley, and then 30 minutes after we were done, he actually winds up committing. But what do you like the most out of that trio? Who's your favorite of that trio of offensive linemen that Tyler Bowen's just been nonstop getting commitments here lately?
You know, that's really, I mean, that's hard to say because Maxwell Riley, he is, in my opinion, the number 1 or number 2 player in the state of Ohio. He, along with Albert Rockhill from Akron-Hovind, are the top 2 guys in Ohio. But Sam Greer, in my opinion, may have the most potential of anybody in Ohio. You know, he's usually ranked, depending on who you look at, for rankings, somewhere between the number 5 and 10 player in the state. But when you look at his potential, you know, he's 6'8", he's 300 pounds. He is a basketball player and a darn good one at that sport. Great footwork. His whole makeup, body, physical attributes, you know, that just oozes NFL first-round draft choice all over it.
Awesome stuff, Bill. Always love your content, man. Thanks for talking some Buckeye recruiting with us tonight.
I appreciate always being on your show, Tim Hall. Outstanding show, and just glad that you could have me on tonight.
Well, that is very nice. For someone that's been doing it as long as you have at a high level, appreciate you saying that, Bill. Have a good evening, my man.
You too. Thank you.
All right, good stuff. Bill Kurlick from Bucknuts and 24/7. The dean of Buckeye football recruiting. Nobody knows the scene like that guy. Back when it used to just be done on newsletters. That's how long he's been in the game. Knows what he's doing. We are going to wind down the Buckeye men's hockey season. Didn't end the way they wanted to, but still a great year. And Steve Rauch, the head coach, will talk with us next as Buckeye Roundtable continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at Safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Family dinners, game nights, and holiday parties. It all happens at home. And we want to help you realize your dream of homeownership. We're the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and if you're ready to buy a home, we may be able to help. Visit myohiohome.org for more information on down payment assistance, lower interest rates, and more. OFA makes purchasing a home more affordable. Visit myohiohome.org. Home ownership. Make it part of your future.
Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. Growing up in the family business, I've seen firsthand the joy and love that comes with finding the perfect engagement ring. For over 77 years, our family's been dedicated to providing the best quality, unmatched selection, and the guaranteed best price. From timeless classics to custom designs, we have the perfect ring for every love story. Let our family help you celebrate the moments that mean the most. Visit Diamond Cellar today on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers, we're improving lives, we're reimagining healthcare.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership is better than ever. Save up to $1,100 each year on gas, groceries, delivery fees, and streaming options. With double fuel points, unlimited free delivery, and exclusive savings for members, there's so much to love about Boost. Sign up for a Boost membership today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome back to this week's Buckeye Roundtable Show. It's presented by Burger King. I'm Timmy Hall. We're going to hit our last ringside with Rollick here shortly. Get some Buckeye football injury news and notes as well. Buckeye fans, power up and carbon down with AEP Energy and Eco Advantage, their 100% renewable energy plan for your home or business. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
This is the Elk and Elk Report on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
All right, I got one for you. Partly because this is the one that I saw last week, and I don't want to do like little bumps and bruises and putting, negative injury things out into the air when the Buckeye football team's just trying to get through spring practice, right? Like they don't need that, right? They don't need the negative juju. But Tyleik Williams at Pro Day, stud defensive tackle here at Ohio State. I mean, he aged out, right? So it's not like he's leaving or transferring. It's just a shame that he doesn't have more years to give at Ohio State because he was so good. 329 pounds. He is a game wrecker. We have seen when Tyleik Williams is at his best, when he's operating at full capacity, one of the best defensive tackles in America. Now, I'm at Pro Day last week. I was not able to stay for much of it because of the schedule. But I got in there for the early parts, and they started with 40-yard dashes. After some stretching periods, the 40 was really the first thing they had. And where they had us in the media standing, we were basically on the very, very far wall, looking almost straight down the line at the north end of the building where they were starting from, so running right at us. And I believe Tyleik was the third guy up. First couple guys go. It's like, okay, I can't really get a sense for how fast they're moving from my vantage point, so I'm not getting much of an experience from it. But Tyleik Williams goes, and in the last 5 yards of his run, he just buckles. I mean, his right knee looks like it buckles. He grabs it, too, right when he's done. He gets helped off, and he's kind of, I think it was the left side, and he's kind of stretching and limping off into the locker room, and I don't see him again. And thankfully he comes out and tweets, and I ask people like what happened, and I hear hamstring, so good, not anything knee. And he then came out and said, I am okay, in all caps, little cramp at the end, nothing serious. If I ran through and didn't fall, 4.8 to 4.9 was the 40 time at 329 pounds. So all good for Tyleik, and there's still been a ton of chatter about him where he could be drafted. These things happen. You just have to be very, very, very careful, and you hold your collective breath when somebody like that goes down. So glad he's okay. Our injury report was presented by Elk and Elk. Injury lawyers dedicated to every client every day. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
It's time to hit the ice and talk some Ohio State hockey. This is Buckeye Roundtable's Ringside with Rollick.
I know it's not the way they wanted the season to end, but this men's hockey team got a lot accomplished this year, and here to tell us about it one more time, Steve Rollick. Steve, congrats on the season. I know we'll get the bad out of the way first. things are going along pretty smoothly against BU. We know what a good team they are. What happened in that third period that you want to bring back up again?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I thought we probably played our best period of the year in the first period, and being up only 1-0, I thought we had plenty of opportunities to get up 2 or 3-0. Might have been the difference. And second period was kind of manageable with both sides, and then they're so skilled. It didn't take much in the third, and we lost our best defenseman there at the end of the first period. Didn't play another minute with Carfagna, and I don't know. It just seemed to turn the tide. And unfortunately, again, I'm really proud of our group.
Yeah.
No one gave us a chance, and just really happy for them that they did what they did.
Carfagna being out is a big deal. We know what a good player he's been all year. And Steve, we talked about it too. If there was a fourth period, right, if there was such a thing, you probably get to see that response. But against a team that's so talented like that, when you're in it and you're fighting tooth and nail, and then you see that margin balloon to 3 goals or so, it's tough. It becomes tough. You can see it from the bench, right? And you're doing everything you can do. But if there was another period, you probably see that grit and toughness show back up that we've seen all year long.
Yeah, who knows, right? I mean, at that point, it's just for whatever reason, it wasn't meant to be. And again, from the loss up there at Michigan State and the double overtime to playing 4 days later, and everything's at stake. And again, I'm super proud of our group, and they set the bar high and the standard, and hopefully we can get back there and do it again.
There's a lot more, but Gunnar Wolf-Fontaine being one of them, one of the leaders, but a lot of guys that will wear that Buckeye jersey or wore that Buckeye jersey for the last time. I know they're still around the program and until things end here for the semester, but what does it mean to you to have coached some of these young men?
It's incredible, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's about the relationships you have, the coaching and on the ice and all these different things you do, and you're pulled in a lot of different directions. But the thing that makes it so special is the relationship you have with your players. And these 8 seniors or whatnot, and some of them been here 5 years, Patty Guzzo's and Joey Dunlop's, to the guys like Gunnar's been here a year, and Bucata and stuff like that. Just amazing, right? They put another brick on the wall here for this program, and they left a little bit of their legacy here this year.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the way that it is where, you've got some guys that will be recruited and play their whole career here, or you bring in really important players and they're big-time performers for you, and they are, like you said, bricks in that foundation. What could you take us through this next week or two as a college hockey coach, and like when you know certain things about certain players that are going to be back, and just how you manage this next half a month or so?
Yeah, pretty crazy, to be honest with you. I mean, you get gut punched there on Thursday and you lose, and obviously everybody feels terrible. 8 a.m. on Friday, you're in the office here because the transfer portal opens up on Sunday, and you got to do everything you can to try to prepare for that. And then you have meetings and player meetings and team meetings, and this is a process now. I think the portal's open for 5 weeks or so. So
yeah, May, I believe.
Yeah, it's a crazy time of the year. It's part of our business. It's part of the sport, unfortunately, right now. But it's something we got to go through. But yeah, there's no vacation in sight.
What is this season, as far as what you guys accomplished, getting this program back to a point where it was not just competing for a Big Ten championship, but in a championship game in double overtime, like you mentioned, and then getting into the NCAA tournament as an at-large team? That's where you always want it to be. So this has to be a nice building, not even a building block, but just sort of setting that plane on what you want Ohio State hockey to be.
No, you hit it on the head, right? I mean, this is the standard that you push for every year. I mean, I don't know. I think since 1963, I think there was only 8 teams in the history of this program that had more wins than we did this year. So sometimes you forget to take a second and reflect on the good things that happened and the positives, and what a year we had. And unfortunately, there's only one team that wins the last game of the year, and we weren't one of them. But like I said, really proud of the group and proud of what we accomplished this year when no one gave us a chance to even come close to what we did.
Yeah, won 24 hockey games this year. That's for sure. That's an incredible accomplishment. and what your players did for you and what they did for each other all year long. I know a lot of Buckeye hockey fans are proud of what this team put together. What about for you, Steve? Do you get a moment here, like with the transfer portal through May 13, like we said? Are you going to be able to get up to Minnesota anytime soon or hang with some family, do something?
Well, you know what? The time I get to walk my dog around the block with my wife or the kids, my phone's ringing. So right now it's a really busy time in the program, and you got to take care of the program. But I'm hoping to get some time with the family here, and we'll get up to Minnesota sometime here in June, up on the lakes and do some fishing. So I'm looking forward to that.
That'll be nice. Well, we will give you some peace from us for at least until next season. We always appreciate you coming on during busy weeks to talk some hockey with us. Thanks so much, Steve.
Yeah, thanks for everything. Appreciate the year.
Wonderful stuff for this hockey program, men's and women's programs, both in a really good spot. I can't wait for this. I love getting to talk to the man that keeps us on the air here at the network. And he also handles all of the booth productions. That's Wranglin' Paul Keels, Jim Lachey, and Ron Stokes when it's basketball season. Skip Mossick's dance party coming up here as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Union Home Mortgage knows Buckeye fans never leave Ohio State behind. We've helped millions of first-time home buyers get into their dream home through our 1% down payment program. Put as little as 1% down, and UHM tosses in up to 2% on the house. Learn more at UHM.com or call 877-846-4968. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,000 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
We have acres of brand new Chevys, Chryslers, Jeeps, Dodges, and Ram vehicles, as well as used cars and trucks that you're looking for at the Jupweiler Columbus Auto Mall in Canal Winchester. And if we don't have what you're looking for, we can find it at one of our 23 other locations. So come shop the lot or view over 2,000 cars right at your fingertips at JupweilerColumbusAutomall.com. Plus, use Weiler Direct to see monthly payments, value your trade, and get pre-approved. Rooted in family, driven by you.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hey, basketball fans, Credit Union of Ohio wants to help you score more by making life more affordable. It's time to play with a team that helps you win every day. Credit Union of Ohio's loan rates have dropped to provide affordable financing for the things you want and need. It's time to reevaluate your current loans and consider refinancing with a team that cares about you. Check out current specials and get started scoring more money at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
Your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome back to this week's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King. I'm Timmy Hall. We're about to talk to the executive producer of our network, Skip Mossick. Got to be good for the boss here. We'll be on top of it. I promise you. You can join Paul Keels and Jim Lachey on Wednesday, April 9th from 6 to 7 as they recap spring football and look ahead to the April 12th Spring Football Showcase at Ohio Stadium. Again, that's Wednesday night, April 9th from 6 to 7 here on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
From the Charlie Bears Land of Dance in Whitehall, it's time for the Skip Mossick Dance Party on Buckeye Roundtable.
All right, Skip, you gotta start by telling everybody again what the heck is Charlie Bears for those that don't know, and how many nights did you spend there?
I'd say it's back in the mid-'70s. It was the place to be, one of the hottest places in Columbus on the east side there in Whitehall. And after a full week at Swimland, nothing was better than a Sunday night, teen night, mid-1976 at Charlie Bears. It was happening.
It's just hard to imagine me knowing you in your current state, Skip. That's not meant to put you down, but I like to play in golf and get out onto the course, but to imagine you in some sort of like Soul Train type of setup, it just kind of boggles the mind.
It was the place to be at the time, Timmy. And I grew up, I told you this story many times. I caddied there in Whitehall at Columbus Country Club for many years. The big pool was Swimland, and Charlie Bear's Land of Dance was the place to be in the evening time.
The place to be. That's what they call it. It sounds like the key words at that time.
No doubt.
At that time of my life. Speaking of golf, Skip, I know we've got an Ohio State women's golfer that's going to be heading down to Augusta. You and I both love the Masters. They won't ever let me take in the festivities down there. I apply every year and I get shown the door. But this is a really, really cool opportunity that the women's amateur event has sort of come to fruition.
Absolutely. And Kari Hollenbaugh is such a great story. And what's interesting about this is I've known her dad, PGA professional Paul Hollenbaugh, who's the head golf professional out at New Albany Country Club, known him for 35 years or more. He's taught me a bit over the years, nothing nearly as much as he did other people, but what a great guy. And to have his daughter reach what she's reached to this date. And the coolest story about this was, and we're going to talk about this on my local golf show, which begins next week. Paul's going to be coming on to tell us about it. But,
nice.
But Paul took Kari to the very first Augusta National Women's Am. And so she was there at a fan and got a fist pump with like Jennifer Kupcho and that story. And here she is playing in that event this year. And I hope and she's playing great right now too, by the way. And hopefully she can continue, get through the first couple of rounds to be able to play on Saturday there at Augusta National. That would be so cool.
That's so cool, Skippy. I believe she's a winner already in collegiate events. So she's
won
dynamite.
Yesterday.
Won.
Yeah, they won down in Clemson. Yes.
Yeah. Then they just won. And this event at Augusta started or was announced just back on April 4th, 2018. So it's still very, very new, and it's really, really cool that they have this leading right up to the big tournament. And I just looked outside yesterday. My azalea bush in front of the house was blooming, and it happens for about 2 weeks right before the Masters, and then it goes away, goes dormant here in Ohio. But Skip, the Spring Football Showcase is coming up. Different name, but typically the same kind of broadcast, same kind of headaches from before as far as trying to call a game for your crew, for Paul Keels and Jim Lachey, right?
Yeah, Paul has the toughest job of anybody. Paul, and of course his spotter, DR Railsback is going to be helping him up there, trying to keep some sort of statistics as far as what's going on, but you don't know who's wearing what jersey number. They change all the time. You don't know who's on the field for sure. And this year we don't necessarily know exactly what the format is. They might be making it up on the fly. I'm sure by the time we get closer to, they'll have some semblance of an idea, just to let the fans know what to expect. Besides, seeing guys out there, some making some plays out there on the field. The one thing I can tell you that I did get confirmation because President Carter's office wanted to know if they can come on at halftime, and I told him, I said, I don't know if there's going to be a halftime, but President Carter can stop by anytime he wants. And they did get confirmation there will be some sort of an intermission where the marching band will go out there, and so President Carter will join us at halftime of whatever the showcase will present.
Right. I mean, shoot, we've seen examples in all sorts of broadcasts how celebrities or different media types can come into the press box and throw the headset on. I mean, you can't really say no to Ted Carter. He can come in there whenever he wants, right? Like
Absolutely.
He could
and
run
Ross
the
Bjork
booth.
could be coming by there the whole time as well. So same sort of thing. You never know. And so, yeah, it's just an open anytime they want to come on. And it's kind of, you kind of try to keep some semblance of a broadcast in regards to the play-by-play, but we really don't know what's going to be happening that day.
Right. The question is, which bomber jacket will President Carter be wearing? Now, Skip, the other thing that could have happened, but it didn't, this would have been a very new thing for you and the network, would have been the crown for the college basketball crown. Thad Matta got a win today. There was some screaming, crazy Utah fan that he had to deal with the entire game, but Thad Matta and Butler got the win in the first game, but the Buckeyes chose not to do it. So how much of a headache were you saved there? But it's something you might have to look into in the future. We hope not, though, because you hope to play the NCAA tournament, and I think this program needs it very badly next year.
Well, Tim, I don't know about you. Let's start with this. My crown bracket is perfect right now. So I'm in first place. So
good for you.
I'm also in last place because I think the only one who filled out a crown bracket. But anyways, it's right there. The whole idea, and Timmy, I don't know about you. I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea, but it's a huge challenge trying to make this event happening with the darn transfer portal opening up a week prior. I mean, most of the teams that would be eligible, or at least the better teams that would be eligible to play in this thing, you're going to have challenges with players leaving. Head coaches leaving. We're seeing that right now.
Skip, would not be surprised. I know it's a TV event, but if they don't see any return on it, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a one-and-done type of event, if it just doesn't work for their partners that they really wanted to have in there. I mean, and let's be honest, if they're ever going to expand the NCAA tournament, really what use does that have? 6 teams in the 16-team field are under 500 that they got for this one. But Skip, as far as the newbies being in the conference, what was the travel like for your team, for your broadcast team? What was that week like going out to the West Coast?
It was interesting, Tim, and if you'd have told me even, I mean, as soon as maybe 7-8 years ago that we would be doing a coaches show from a conference room at a hotel in Los Angeles, I said, well, we don't have the technology to do that. And the way it presents itself now is it's a piece of cake. The travel, the way they did it, I think is what you're going to continue to see, which is, the women did it first and then the men did it as well. You're just out there for like 6 days and you play both USC and UCLA. You kind of get used to it when you're out there. I'm old school. I try to keep myself on Eastern time as much as I can because once you go West Coast time, it's really hard once you come back East to get those 3 hours back. But overall, I mean, it wasn't bad. It was what you would think it was, and at least for the men's team to be able to sneak out and go 1-1 on those 2 games made it taste just a little bit better when we got back home.
You had a hotel switch too, right? I mean, even though it was UCLA and USC, different parts of LA, hotel switch in the middle, right?
Just to try I think they just wanted to try to break it up, and they stayed closer to both schools. I mean, we were in Beverly Hills when they played UCLA, and they transferred like downtown, which was not far from the USC campus. And the downtown hotel was the same hotel that the football team has stayed in most recently when they went to the Rose Bowl.
Okay.
So Paul and I were very familiar with the setup around there.
Well, Skip Mossick, the executive producer of this fine network, makes everything tick. None of us would have jobs if it's not for Skip Mossick. So we appreciate you and everything you do. And I know you're super busy. I actually got to hit balls on Saturday. Went up to York in Central Ohio.
How'd you hit 'em?
I can still move it, Skip. So that's the good news. I mean, it was the first session of the year, so got to get some of the kinks out of the swing, but felt good to get it. It always feels good to stripe that first 3 wood of the season.
To be tall and slender and to be able to put the club in that position that you have, Timmy. I'm so jealous, always have been.
It's a lovely thing, right? Well,
awesome.
Skip, thank you so much.
Timmy, always, you know the deal. I mean, it's one of the best decisions I made was getting you hosting this show. So great job all season. We have a couple of weeks left, okay?
Yeah, sounds good. We'll do it a couple more times here before we wrap up this spring edition. Thank you, Skip.
Got it, Timmy. Have a good night.
Yep, you too. Playing himself out like a true professional. We have got to tell you about one team around the Block O that is just on fire right now. That's coming up as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Ohio State fan, Are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grill Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Union Home Mortgage knows Buckeye fans never leave Ohio State behind. We've helped millions of first-time home buyers get into their dream home through our 1% down payment program. Put as little as 1% down, and UHM tosses in up to 2% on the house. Learn more at UHM.com or call 877-846-4968. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,000 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Ohio State National Champions. Celebrate the 9th National Championship in Ohio State history with an heirloom quality timepiece handcrafted by Oxia Time. Available in a broad range of styles and prices to appeal to that true Buckeye fan. If you want something extra special, check out the limited edition Ryan Day autographed box sets. These exclusive box sets won't be available long. Act fast and get yours before they are gone for good. All watches tell time. These tell the time of your life. Order yours today at AXIAtime.com.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Family dinners, game nights, and holiday parties. It all happens at home, and we want to help you realize your dream of homeownership. We're the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and if you're ready to buy a home, we may be able to help. Visit myohiohome.org for more information on down payment assistance, lower interest rates, and more. OFA makes purchasing a home more affordable. Visit myohiohome.org. Home ownership. Make it part of your future.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Nice to have Skip Mossick on the program back there. We'll do it again next week and for our final episode right after the spring game showcase. I don't know if we've done this show after the spring game, so I'm looking forward to that, to getting the recap. Typically, our number of shows runs out right before. We might have had a scheduling conflict that pushed us to the 1 week after it's done, which I'm happy about. It is Buckeye Roundtable, and it's presented by Burger King, and I'm Timmy Hall. Buckeye Roundtable is also brought to you in part by Encova Insurance for auto and home, encircling you with solutions you can trust. Encova, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtable's Around the Block O.
Before I go around the block O, little Major League Baseball scoring update for you because, baseball season is still barely a week old, and we're excited about it. The Cincinnati Reds are blowing out the Texas Rangers right now. Hopefully it stays that way. Top of the fifth, 6-0 Reds at home at Great American Ballpark in Cincy on top of the Rangers. The Guardians, they are out west. They pick up play at the Padres at 9:40 tonight. Now, back to when we were talking about women's golf, and Skip mentioned, what a what a deal this was for the women's golf team and what they did. They just won the Clemson Invitational to cap a record-breaking weekend. Yes, this was awesome. They won the team title, and Carrie Hollenbaugh, the world number 28 ranked amateur player who will be playing in the Augusta National Women's Amateur this week, she won the individual title. So just awesome, right? The tournament record, that was a 54-hole score of 819. That's 45 under. The Buckeyes shot 45 under as a team. I'm telling you this, that those are scores that just don't, as evidenced by being a record, a Buckeye team record and a tournament record, you don't shoot scores like that collectively as a team. That just doesn't happen. They're top 25 right now, and they beat second-ranked Arkansas, second-ranked in the country, Arkansas, by 10 shots. The Buckeyes shot under par in all 3 rounds. Okay, and that wasn't even the program I was mentioning when I said a red-hot program for Ohio State right now. That is men's lacrosse, led by their goalie, who goes by nickname Big Tasty. Yes, the Buckeye men's lacrosse team is so good right now. They are 10-1. They lost their opener of the season, 19-13 to Utah. I don't know if that screaming fan that was at the college basketball crown was there for Utah, but they lost that one game and then have won 10 in a row. It's just incredible what this team is doing right now. It's the best record in their first 11 games since 1978. Seeing that on their Twitter and X page. Follow them, too. There's really, really good content if you're a lacrosse fan. It's at Ohio State MLAX. Lax, of course, is just the universal code word for lacrosse. And it's also just the 5th 10-game winning streak in program history, and they got a big one on the road coming up against Johns Hopkins. That is a classic lacrosse school. But checking up on them, Johns Hopkins is only 6-4 right now, so they are gettable. Hopefully Ohio State stays hot. All right, Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. The executive producer of Ohio State Radio Sports is Skip Mossick. Hey, our last guest of the night. For our producer tonight, Bodie Wells, I'm Timmy Hall. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. We will see you next Monday night, getting ready for the Spring Showcase that will follow on April 12th. Have a good night.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions, a very handsome reward indeed. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash in non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% IRA boost on annual contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rates subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Brian Callahan, he inherited Will Levis. This would be his guy. If he loves Cam Ward, there's a lot to like about Cam Ward. The arm talent's undeniable.
You can watch First Draft on YouTube or listen wherever you get your podcast.
The NFL Draft on ESPN, live from the legendary Lombardi Avenue in Green Bay.
To all of these men, I want to say that football is not just a game, but a way of life.
Whose lifelong dream of making it to the league?
Each man must make a personal commitment to excellence and to victory.
Will be fulfilled on this iconic stage at Lambeau. The 2025 NFL Draft begins Thursday, April 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, ABC, and NFL Network.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Tuesday, we'll continue to react to the Women's NCAA Tournament as well as the latest from the NFL owners' meetings. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
It's no question.
question how good ACC softball is.
There's so much talent in this league. You're going to love the ACC.
For all the hype and heat. For all the long goodbyes and welcome homes.
Is this the game winner? It is indeed.
Come for it all. ACC softball all season long on ACCN and streaming live on the ESPN app.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Plain piece of grilled chicken. I'm good.
A plain piece of grilled chicken.
That's the perfect way to describe Evan Cohen. What is he?
A plain piece of grilled chicken.
That is Evan Cohen.
It is Evan Cohen.
I don't need you to try to do other things.
Don't sauce it up.
Yeah, just do your job.
Just keep it steady.
Grilled chicken, rice, corn. Where do I sign up?
Oh, my gosh.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.